Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Andy the Painting Fireman. Thanks for watching my videos. We're almost up to 60. Holy smoke, 60 subscribers on YouTube. I didn't know what to expect when I first started this little adventure out, so thank you very much for subscribing. Thanks for watching the time-lapse videos. Thanks for watching the long videos. And I hope if you're watching this to learn to paint that it helps you out a lot. So just to answer a few questions that I had, I use Bob Ross style brushes. I only use primarily a fan brush, a 2-inch brush. Sometimes I'll use a filbert, a 1-inch brush, which is right here, 1-inch brush, and a liner brush. That's it. That's for brushes. I really don't use a wide variety of brushes. This style of painting, which is wet on wet, doesn't require a whole bunch of different kinds of brushes. You can get away with 2 or 3 brushes for the whole painting. Along with the knife, I have a large knife. I'm looking to buy a smaller knife just to get into some more detail. But as for brushes, I prefer the Bob Ross brushes. They're really good. They're relatively inexpensive and they last a long time if you treat them well. For my canvases, I go to Michael's and I buy canvases from there. You can buy canvases at any art store. Michael's seems to be the best place for relatively inexpensive canvases. You can buy good quality canvases there too, and you can make your own. I haven't ventured that far in making my own canvas, making a stretcher and putting a canvas on there. I might in the future, I'm not sure, but it's just easier going to Michael's and you can pick up canvases there. Paint, for paint I use Bob Ross brand paint. It works well with the wet on wet. It's designed for the wet on wet painting. You can use any kind of paint you want, but you really need a thick paint for this application for wet on wet to make the mountains break and for the paint to flow. So hopefully that answers a few questions on what kind of stuff I use. We'll just talk about some stuff as I paint this picture. I think today we're gonna kind of step outside the box, but it's still gonna be a really neat painting. I'm using a limited palette. I have Indian yellow, I have Prussian blue, alizarin crimson, and white. And I think we're gonna go with a purplish yellow painting. Apparently, I saw a video that says purple and yellow, they go good together. I'm not formally trained, so I don't know anything about the color wheel or anything like that. So what I've learned, I've watched online and just kind of made my own way of doing things. If you want to go for the color wheel or whatever kind of technical stuff, be my guest. There's a lot of talented artists out there that have gone to school, but I have no formal training at all, painting wise. I just got home from a bunch of command courses that I had to take through our district, which is just going to help me command better and hopefully do just a little bit better job for everybody firefighting wise. So enough talking. Let's go right up to the canvas. So we're going to start with just a bit of Indian yellow, not too much, just a little bit of Indian yellow on our big old 2-inch brush. Start off with a little bit of color. It's very difficult to take away color. So you want to start light and then you can add more and more to your painting. So we're just going to go right up here using our X strokes. Just make some nice X's across about halfway. It really doesn't matter. You can go a little farther. We can always cover up stuff on the bottom. And I think I want like a ray of sunshine coming through kind of the middle, just offset off the middle. You can cover most of it up with your yellow. It really doesn't matter if you want to add some. A lot of it will be purple as well, so just add a little bit. Before we started, we did put our liquid white on the canvas here. That allows the paint to flow. It can blend. That's the beauty of this type of painting. It's been around since about the 16th century. It's called alla prima painting. Wet on wet, so you don't need to let any of these layers dry before you add another layer. So just with our 2-inch brush, you can blend it out. Go gently across, take those brush strokes out. And we're going to mix up a purple. So I'm going to be using a lot of purple in this painting. So you want to take some of your Prussian blue and a bunch of your alizarin crimson. It'll make a nice purple sound. Start with a little bit of Prussian blue. It's very overwhelming. It'll eat up that crimson. So start with a little bit of Prussian blue, and you can just add more if you want it more to the blue side or the purple side. And just mix it up on your brush. We're going to be using a lot of this, so in different values. Some light purple, some dark purple. Just mix it up nice and good. And one way, right now it looks completely black on the palette. One way you can check and see what color you actually made is just take a little bit of white on your finger. You can put it right on your palette, and you can check what kind of purple you've made. So I've made a nice, I don't know if you can see that, the light's kind of shining. I made a nice violet purple color. Without even cleaning the brush, we'll just tap in a little bit of our purple color. And let's go up here, and our purple color, kind of going to go around. I'm trying to make indications of clouds almost, I guess. And I'm just kind of tapping my 2-inch brush in place. Remember, this middle part here I want bright. So we're just going to leave it alone for right now. And you can make swirl marks. Add some more color up here, more purple color. Just darken some of those clouds up. We're going to blend all this out anyways, so it comes in the middle here. I'm not really using any particular technique when it comes to putting these clouds in. I just want some dark spots and some light spots. We'll go in and highlight some of them up here a little bit. Just leaving that one shade in there. And we'll see what we come up with here. All right, let's clean our brush off. I use low odor paint thinner in a little bucket below me here. Just make sure you use low odor. It really helps. It helps with the smell. And I made a little beater box on the bottom, and what it does is I wrap my brush up against a little bar. It contains all the paint thinner, so it doesn't splatter all over the place. All right, let's go back up here. We're going to try and avoid going into our light color. We're just going to concentrate blending out this purplish color that we put on here. Just with X strokes, just gently brushing out the purple. We're going to go in and add some defined clouds with our fan brush, I think this time. Just want this nice little haze. You can get rid of some of that paint. You don't necessarily have to clean it 100%, just to blend in this area here. And you can go across. And I still have that clear spot in the middle. We can take our fan brush and brighten that up a little bit. All right, let's take our fan brush. We're just going to go into that purple color again. We're just going to add some spots where the clouds are a little bit more pronounced, and just make circle with the corner of your brush, just the corner. Just making some dark spots here and there. We're going to put a big old mountain in there too, I think. I like painting mountains. A lot of my paintings have mountains in it. I'll go this way. Maybe a nice little cloud fits in here somewhere. Dark on the bottom a little bit. And just really random where I'm putting these. Maybe some comes into the light spot, kind of floats away here. We'll take our 2-inch brush and we'll just go just with the bottom of the 2-inch brush. You want to lightly blend out the bottom. You want to leave that top as best you can, and you can flare it up a little bit. Bottom here, getting a lot of paint, And you can clean off your brush whenever you want. This one here will fluff up a little bit. And the bottom one. Now you can go back. If you want that one spot a little bit brighter, maybe it might be easier with the 1-inch brush. Take your 1-inch brush and just take some white paint, just titanium white, plain old titanium white. Maybe a hint of yellow in there, titanium white. And you can go in here and brighten this spot up. Take some more white, a little more yellow. I just want that hint of sun maybe poking through here. More white on the brush, just to create that nice illusion of some sun rays floating through here. And just you can blend it into your clouds that you make. Brush again. And you can blend those edges. Go across. And keep blending. You can blend till everything kind of goes away, really. Blend that bottom out. Now they do sell blender brushes. I don't have one. I might go pick one up, I'm not sure. But they do sell specifically very soft blender brushes. If that's what you're looking for. Makes this part a little easier. Go into the middle, blend it towards the edges. And then another really neat thing you can do is you take your brush and you can use your brush to create little rays coming out of there. Just gentle rays coming out from that middle spot. Go back. And you can back up and you can have a look. I encourage you to kind of have a look at your painting, step back a bit, see what's going on in that painting. If you see any spots that need to be blended out, some need to be lighter, some need to be darker, whatever. Take your time. You got a limited time. There we go. I think maybe we'll take some white just on the 1-inch brush. And we can highlight just a little bit of clouds, maybe a little bit on the edge here. Just making circular strokes, nothing major. I just wanted a little softer there. Just a bit softer. Just maybe indications of clouds hanging over there. And you can do it with your fan brush as well. It doesn't matter, fan brush or 1-inch brush. Take your fan brush. Have to clean this one off. Take some of your white paint again. I kind of like the way that one looked. So, just on the edge of that dark spot right there, just going to add the indication of another cloud kind of hanging in there. Really like the way that one turned out. Maybe this one at the top here. Just adding, and it's purely just white. That's all I'm adding to it. It'll blend in with that purple. Fluff those up. Down here we're not super concerned about very much. We're going to put a mountain in there. That'll hide a lot of stuff. And we can put our rays back in if you want. And I'm barely touching this canvas. Barely touching this canvas. But I'm using the brush strokes to my advantage here. Just kind of makes it look like little rays are coming off there. All right, let's put in our mount, and we're going to use that same purple color we used. Get some on our knife. And I think we're just going to put a little small mountain on the back corner here. We're not going to go all the way across. So get your little roll of paint on your knife. Make a decision. And we can plop one in here. Whichever shape. And maybe it goes across here. It's got little bumps. Across. Maybe there's another little peak right here. And press pretty hard into your canvas. What you're really trying to do is stain that canvas. That paint will stay and stain. Will stain your canvas, and that's what we want to keep there. I like to do is I'll take my knife and I'll go in and I'll scrape pretty hard all that excess paint. We don't want a ton of paint on there. All we want is that stain that's going to go right into the fabric of that painting, of your canvas, pardon me. All right, I'm just going to blend out that mountain. All right, we're going to take our nice little 1-inch brush. We're going to blend out the bottom of this mountain. So just take your brush right up against it. You can blend that out. So you want to try and get rid of some of that paint that's on there. Same with the top here. Blend it out. Not a huge mountain this time, but we really want to be very careful towards the tops of the mountains. And you can blend it out through the bottom. And you can bring some of that yellow up with you as you're blending, very lightly. Blend that bottom out. You can see how I'm drawing some of this white or this yellow color up to the mountain. And we're going to tap some in there as well. It's a very simple mountain range here. Now we're just going to start with plain old white. Draw your plain old white out. Grab a little cut of paint, just a little roll. We're going to go right up here and barely touch the mountain with our knife and just let it come down. Grab a little more paint. We can go up on this side here too. This one here. There we go. And maybe this guy in the back. Just a little bit on this guy in the back here. You can even take the corner of your knife. Hand's pretty shaky today. Just take the corner of your knife. You can add some of that in there. For our shadow color, we'll just take that purple. We'll make a light purple color. Just mixing it in with my white. And you can leave it marbled. Leave that marbled. Same cut of little paint, little roll of paint. We're going to go right up here. Grab it this way. Here. And that one's going to go right in front. Pushing that one backwards. And you can switch back and forth to your highlight color, to your shadow color. And you can add just a little more definition to your mountain. Wherever there's a highlight, there's a shadow. Make sure you remember that. Very important. We'll add a little more here. And because we got this yellow color kind of going on, I think we'll add a little bit of yellow to our highlight color. So with just yellow and white, just mixing it on the palette. Not too much yellow, just a little bit. It's just going to add a little bit of interesting color to our mountain. here, there's some. Just tiny little bits of yellow color. Maybe on this guy in the back here. Got a little bit too much yellow on here. That's okay. We can go back into our shadow, fix things up a little bit. Take that 2-inch brush, and you're just going to tap the bottom. I'm trying to indicate some fog, and gently, gently go up your mountain here. You're just diffusing it. Just diffusing it. You can go up a little bit here, and then gently upwards, following the angles of your mountain. Very important. So this angle here, we're going to tap this way. Just tapping, creating that fog. Gently going up, and then at the bottom, we can just blend it out as we see fit. We can put some trees in there. We can hide some of that stuff that we don't like. Very simple mountain. Nothing too fancy about it. Keep blending it up. And all I'm doing is tapping. All I'm trying to create is a little bit of a fog. And you can even go into your white, just plain old white, and you can add that white to it. It'll create a nice little fog as well. But just make sure that you go with the flow of that, those angles of your mountains. Angles are very important. Gives that illusion that these mountains are actually sitting right there. And blend out the bottom. All right, just a little tiny mountain for us today. We're going to go ahead and put some trees in next. All right, we're just going to stick some distant trees in there. All I'm going to do is grab that purple color. Same old purple color we've been using for the mountains. And we're going to try and figure out where kind of our tree line is living. With tree lines, we can make different shapes. We're going to have some distant kind of tall trees in the back. All I'm doing is trying to fill in some space here, just with our purple color. Fill in some space wherever you want to go with it. And we're gonna, this is kind of just like the bottoms of the trees right now. It's just easier to put it in with the 1-inch brush first. Go up a little bit. Just fill in that space. And you can take your fan brush with that same color, and all we're going to do is pull downwards with it. Pulling downwards. These are really distant trees, far, far away. Not a lot of detail on them. Some are shorter, some are taller. You can reload, add some darker spots in here or there. All I'm doing is pushing down with my fan brush. Higher, lower. You know, some are bigger, some are smaller. They're not all the same size. Reload when you need it. Darken some up somewhere sometimes. And all I'm doing is pushing down with that top corner of my fan brush. Just load some paint here and there. These have very little detail. You can kind of tell that they're there, but not really. You're just the tops you see mostly. Just across. But most important, vary your length. You don't want them to look like a stand of toothpicks. They're going to eventually become toothpicks, but you don't want them to look like toothpicks right now. So you got to vary the size every so often, up and down. They're way in the distance, way, way, way in the distance. All right, you can take your 2-inch brush, pardon me. You can go in and tap, fog out the bottom. Fog out this bottom here. And sometimes you can take your brush, go upwards with it. Make sure you keep that fog in there though, that's going to be very important for your next layer. Just very gently going up. Looks like you've just made a million trees. Not too much effort. And that's the beauty of this style of painting. It creates the illusion that there's a million trees back there, but really you didn't do too much. That's why anybody can do this kind of painting. You just need a little time, a little effort, keep practicing, keep working on it. I've been painting for 7 years now, I think. 6-7 years. And I'm still not that great at it, but there's always room for me to improve. Every painting I do, I try and improve on it a little bit, maybe take some more time with the mountains, or take some more times with the trees, and you can just get better at it. The more and more you do it, the better and better you're going to get. And we're just going to go up. Just creating that illusion. Your painting's all about illusions. Remember, we're painting on a flat space, so we're trying to create distance, so it's all about the illusions. All right, I think maybe in some spots, I'm just going to go a little taller, certain spots. There we go. Got those guys out. And gently lift up. Barely touching the canvas when you're lifting up. You don't want it to go too tall. All right, we're going to take some of our purple color just on that 2-inch brush and tap some in, and you want to push forward. Push that paint right in. And I think we're going to start figuring out the lay of the land here. Just going to start figuring out how everything's laying down. We're going to add some grass to this anyways here. Same kind of purple color. Just adding. Grab some more paint. You want some darker spots here. Just filling in certain spots. Tapping with our big old 2-inch brush. Just kind of figuring out how this land is going to lay out and all the hills that we're going to put in here. Maybe we'll have a path down the middle. Not too sure. Grab some more paint whenever you need it. Tap it in. Darker spots here and there. Switch sides. Add some more paint. All I'm doing is trying to fill up this space here. Just tapping. Maybe there's a little hole here. So it all depends on how you're moving your brush across. You can see some it's angled this way, then it goes flat, and then it comes back up. Maybe there's a big ridge somewheres. Just tap some more paint in whenever you need it, darker in spaces. Just tap that paint in. Just tapping. No real secret to this at all. Just tapping some coloring. We're gonna put some highlights on there, make it look like grass, I think. But I kind of wanted this purple yellowy kind of painting. Just something new to try. A little bit different than what we usually do. That's okay. It's good to be different once in a while. Doesn't hurt to be different. Just adding some darker spots here and there with this purple. Just in certain places, make it a little bit darker. Adds a little bit of dimension to your painting if you go darker and lighter in certain spots. All right, a little bit more, cover up any of the white spots. All right, before we put our land in, I just had a little bit of an idea. I think maybe coming from those trees, because it's all foggy there and we can't see over top of this ridge, maybe there's some sort of almost like a waterfall coming from somewhere. So I'm just going to take the fan brush, white paint, and out from the trees there, maybe there's a little waterfall. And we can add a little bit of blue to that as well. Just a little bit of the blue and white, just to freshen it up a little bit. Just a little tiny waterfall right in the back there. Maybe kind of flows in from a river that's kind of in here, and there's a big lake behind there. I'm not sure. We can't really see over that ridge in our painting. All right, let's take some Indian yellow. Tap that Indian yellow on your brush. And you can go over and take a little bit of your white. You can use liquid white. And I think we're just gonna, all we're gonna do is tap. We're gonna tap some color. Maybe it's like a meadow of some sort. Go back into your yellow. And you really want to tap. That's the most important thing I can tell you, is just dip some of that in there, and all we're doing is tapping. Just tapping in there. Leave some dark spots here and there. Get some different kind of yellow, liquid white. Go over here. Almost looks like, you know, maybe some animals are grazing around here. Those spots. Once in a while you might have to clean your brush off, reload with your color, because it'll pick up a lot of that. It'll pick up of that purple color. So all you have to do is just clean off a little spot, put some more paint down, clean your brush off. And you can keep going. You can even throw a little bit of red in there if you want to, just to kind of freshen things up. Clean off your brush. Back into your yellow. Tap it in. Maybe some more liquid white still again. Just tapping. All I'm doing is tapping. And you know what? I think I'm going to put some red in there, or crimson. Let's go red. Let's add a little bit of red. Why not? You know, when you picked up your brush for the first time, it had no instructions on it, right? Didn't say what you could do or couldn't do. Same as on the paint. Same as on the paint. There is no instructions whatsoever on there. You got your artist license right when you picked up that first brush for the first time. I think maybe on the bottom, I might do something a little different. We'll see where it goes. Go. I think maybe we'll put some big trees on there. I'm not sure, but just keep going with that land. Remember, follow the flow and the way of the land, and you can add whatever color you want if you want yellows or reds. I'm just going to keep going a little bit here, and then we'll put some big old trees in. All right, time to put some trees in. We're just going to take that purple color that we've made, add some on your fan brush, and we can decide where we want some of our trees. So just press down, make an indication where you want your tree to start. Using the corner of the brush, go downwards, pressing harder and harder as you go down. Here's one. Maybe we'll put one right beside him. Darker and darker as you go downwards. Maybe we'll have one here. Just the corner of your brush. Maybe it was there. You could put 1,000,000 trees, you can put 2 trees, you could 0 trees, however many trees you want. This is your painting. You decide where it's going to go. You decide. Let's go over here to the other side. Maybe we'll frame up that little waterfall in the back there. Add some more paint. Big one here. And maybe one more. Excuse the little noise there. I live in an older house, so a lot of times you hear the pipes kind of clinking and clanging, but that's okay. We'll put one. How about a big one? Big one right here. Here he comes. Look at how big he is. All right, let's put some highlights on. We're just going to grab some liquid white, add it to our color here. Maybe a little more. If you have trouble with your paint sticking, you can go into that liquid white or paint thinner. Just adding a nice little kind of shadow color. And you can go over top. I don't want it too bright. We can brighten it up with some white later if we need to. It's kind of our shadow color on one side of our tree. Just tapping the same way that we put our regular tree in, just tapping. Take some more liquid white. And we'll just add a little bit of color, a little bit of brighter color in there. That guy. And it's not every branch. Every so often put a little bit of highlight on the branches. Doesn't have to be every branch. We kind of want to stay with our theme here of purple. There you go. And step back once in a while, have a look, see what it looks like. I kind of had an idea here. maybe these trees are kind of up against the lake. I think that'd be nice. The best thing about this kind of painting is never really set in stone. You can decide if you want water all of a sudden or wherever. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our brush, go straight across, however far you want to go up. Clean off your brush. We're going to put the indication of these trees that are right here into our water. So it's just kind of the reverse. Just the reverse of that. Reverse of that tree. Maybe here, that one. Doesn't have to be exact. Maybe they can just see a little bit of this guy here. This one here. This guy here. He's a little taller than everybody else. And this guy, he's tall even more. Just doing the reverse of what you see. And this big guy, he'll go right off, I think. Just the reverse. Maybe a little more on him. We're just going to take our brush, go pull straight down. And then we can go across. There we go. All right, let's go into that purple again, or dark color, blue, purple, whichever you got. And let's stick some nice little bushes here, just filling up the bottom. Filling up the bottom of these trees here. We're just pushing. And we'll add those into the water as well. Bushes in the bottom. You take some of your yellow color, add a little bit of liquid white to it. Tap that into your brush, and we'll just add bushes here. Same thing in your water. What you have on land, you have on your water. Just tapping that in there. Do one bush at a time. And you can always go back into your red. A little more liquid white. Just tap that in there. Ooh, look at that sparkler right there. Nice. And he goes in here as well. Just tapping. That's all we're doing. He goes into our water. Just pulling straight down, very, very gently. And across. Get some brown color. And let's put some land in here for these guys to kind of hang out on. This one here, just with the knife. And we can take a little bit of highlight, just a lighter color than that brown. And we can highlight this. It's kind of a rocky shore there. Take our liquid white. Get some on your knife, wipe that knife off, and we can put a little shoreline in here. This side. Now when you put your shoreline in, make sure you're going straight across. You want to go straight across. Straight across. All right, I think, now that's a pretty big front that we got there. Maybe we need something in the front there. Let's go, I'll take our black. Plain old black. A little bit of black, a little bit of blue, a little bit of your purple, whatever you got on you. And you're gonna pull in one direction, and you want your brush to have that little rounded corner. You're going to go on the bottom. On the bottom, you can just push up. Just push up with your brush. It'll create really neat effects. Just pushing up. Grab some more paint when you need it. Kind of closes stuff in here. Take your color, any color you want. You can use that green, sap green. You can use, I have a bunch of yellow kind of hanging on here. So you can take your liquid white, take some of that yellow color. Same thing, pull in one direction. You can add some highlights here. Maybe some of these bushes. Sun hits the top there. Sun just kind of beams off the top of there. Sun's going down in my picture, it looks like. And then go in. You can even, you know what, you can even add just a little hint of the red. You know, we got red in the back, red kind of in places. Just small, subtle little hints of red. Just here and there. Just kind of adds to your painting. Just that little bit. Just a little bit of red. Don't overdo it. Don't need a lot. Up here. And take your knife and you can scratch in, you can make all these little, you know, the maybe cattails kind of sticking out here, whichever. And just scratch those in. It'll scratch in and it'll take away the paint and it'll show what's underneath the canvas. And I like doing just random, it's completely random. No area in particular. And I had a little bit of white on the end. That's really adding a little bit. It'll pick up some of the paint off the bottom here. Oops. It'll pick up some of the paint on the bottom and it'll bring it upwards. Give you a really nice effect. And all you're doing is kind of scratching things in here. And go back. You know, you can clean some of your trees up if you want. Make sure they got nice points. Our waterfall's still in the background there. And same with in here, you can just scratching, some little doers. Just go back, have a look, see if they need to, if you need something in your painting, if you kind of messed up, like I kind of messed that tree up, I can go back. Add it back in, and we're done. No problem. Sometimes we make little mistakes, but you know what? Go with it. Nothing's ever too perfect in our little world here anyways. Just go with what you got. It'll turn out. It'll turn out. A little highlight here. A little water line. There we go. I cleaned it up. And you can add little water lines here and there in your water. Whichever you want to do. All right, we can sign our name just on the bottom. You can sign your name wherever you want. I usually put mine on the bottom. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Thanks for subscribing. I'm glad everybody likes the videos. I'll try and keep posting as much as I can. And make sure you share this with your friends. Share it on Facebook. My name's Andy, the Painting Fireman. Make sure you keep your shiny side up. See you, friends.